Shiva, the Shaktipada, just by the initiation of the master. Let's go to the Shastra Pramana. The Shastra Pramana are the eternal truth which are revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and the Agamas. This is from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Vijnana, consciousness, Bhairava, one who experiences the consciousness beyond the mind. Tantra is the method to experience the consciousness.
And strong process for us to go beyond all the pain.
स्वदेहे जगतो वापि सूक्ष्म सूक्ष्मतराणि च तत्त्वानि यानि निलयं ध्यात्वान्ते व्यज्यते परा.
Bhagavan Paramashivoham beautifully says, this is for the power, scriptural reference for the power of body scanning. Scanning the history of others' problem. Cognize deeply that from the subtle to the subtlest constitute principle of your whole body. How we exist as a gross, but going subtle and subtle, the molecules, the atoms, or the whole universe simultaneously consist of the essential reality. They are being absorbed in their source, cause. By the experience of such restful awareness, one becomes complete from the thoughts, and the ultimate universe, divine power, Para Devi, is revealed, and the supreme power manifestation happens. Clearly, verbatim has described how we can experience the quantum space, subtle and subtlest, which is why the reason it is made of all that in the outer world, and which is what is made in the inner world. But through the inner world, only we can reach through everything else, because the outer world we perceive is only as object and matter. But there is the higher frequency level that we can experience as the oneness. Now the science is clearly showing us that everything is connected, everything is happening in the outer world in much defined format that we can experience as a higher reality. And we can live for 1,000 years. They have found how they can predict even your death doing a blood test. All this science is catching up, and they are saying we can live for 1,000 years, we can find out the higher science, how we can have the superconscious breakthrough. Scientifically, now science is trying to catch up with all these great truth. But Bhagavan beautifully says here, whoever understands how our body is made of, what is going on in us, and what is there which needs to be continuously monitored, that who is that who's creating all this identity, who is that who's experiencing all this. When we start bringing all the awareness to the inner space, essential reality, that they are being absorbed into the source, we get absorbed into the beautiful space of oneness when we start looking in instead of looking outside. The beautiful story how the Zen monks, one day he was asking the disciple to pour the cup of tea into his cup, and he kept pouring into his cup and pouring, it's overflowing. He's not telling stop. So the disciple doesn't know what to do. So the disciple finally gives up. Okay, I need to know why he's wasting so much of tea. And he asked, why are you still asking me to pour when your cup is full? And Zen master looks at him and says, that's exactly what I'm asking. How can I teach you when you're completely full of thoughts? And if you drop it, then I can start giving you the higher science. All we do is continuously the thinking is encouraged by us. We decide that because when we are in the deep sleep, we don't have the thoughts. So we know how to live without the thoughts, but we encourage the thoughts, thinking that is saving us. Thinking is required for us. And Bhagavan says, when you unclutch again and again from that thoughts and be only in the space of oneness, that you are Paramashiva. I am seeking Paramashiva. Don't give me all these things. Yes, thoughts happen in us. Bhagavan beautifully says, when somebody asked him, don't you have thoughts? Yes, he uses the thoughts. If he has to communicate with us, he uses the thoughts. It's like a processor. he uses that processor and application to come to our level to talk to us. But that doesn't mean the processor is him. He is the ultimate who is using this processor to communicate with us. We use application to talk to people. Same way, this is an application which is running in us. But Bhagavan says, in millions of acres, just 1 acre of thought doesn't make a difference. Like we have millions of app, it doesn't make a difference if we are not using that app. Same way, how we can experience the higher reality. Bhagavan beautifully gives an example of how we are a computer 1 and he is computer 10. If you have like any disk, you can log into anybody's computer, use the supercomputer. Same way, when you are connected in oneness with Paramashiva, you can use his resources and all his tapas to manifest all the powers of Paramashiva. All the auspiciousness and abundance starts flowing in you. The science of our manifestation, this is a science because you can experience that immediately. And beautifully, Bhagavan gives the Apta Pramana of Sai Satcharitra volume. It's from the chapter 26. Beautifully, Baba, how he scans the person who has come, Harish Chandra. He had come to Baba because his son has epilepsy and asked for blessings. He gives some coin and says, go take this coin and use the coin with the other coins that I have given you and worship it, and simply there will not be anything in your family. Whole family will live happily and fine. The masters always give us only like a word or just a thought or just one action for us to do because we want something very, very simple. Otherwise, we have too many questions. But even if they give simple, then we ask, why is it so simple? And this man goes to his mother, says, Baba is asking me to take this coin with the other coins. What are the other coins, mother? And the mother says, oh, that is the coins your father left back for you. And you ignored it and you did not worship. So you can take these coins and worship it with the other coins. Then he realizes what he has missed. It was the same instruction given to the father also to worship, and he worshipped and gave it to the son, and for the son to worship, and they will not have any problems. Such a simple action of a guru, and that he's asking us to perform, but simply the whole family is without all these health issues. When Bhagwan gives all these instruction, it is very simple, it's very doable. But because it is doable and simple, we just leave it. But all these great samyamas that Bhagwan is giving is the ultimate samyamas. Samyama is the dharana, dhyana, samadhi put together. Dharana is like how you build a dam to capture all the water. So you have the inner space to start looking in who you are. Dhyana, how you understand you are Paramashiva. That whole space you start looking in, that pure space that you create for Paramashiva. Dhyana. Samadhi is how they have the dam, and from the dam there is a tunnel like a pipe which is the dhyana, and there is a turbine and which runs the turbine. The water rotates the turbine, and because of the rotation, the electricity happens. Bhagavan gives this example for us to understand. Dharana, dhyana, samadhi. When we are completely focused, looking inside, nothing to do, just witnessing us, that's all, witnessing the awareness. When we are with the witnessing awareness of who we are, that I am Paramashiva, the quantum space simply absorbs us and we become the Paramashiva, not losing anything. The way we perceive ourselves, like sleep, we are not lost ourselves. We go to sleep, wake up. Same way, you can experience this consciousness as the ultimate reality, and you can be in that reality of higher conscious space. Bhagavan beautifully explains how the silence increases the intelligence and to the level that we can get absorbed into the quantum space. Bhagavan beautifully explains how we can live in the conscious sovereignty.
You should understand the context properly, the word, the meaning, all know it properly. They can know anything they want. When Ubay Bharati asked Shankaracharya about the secrets, knowledge about the physical relationship, he did not immediately have that knowledge, but he could straight get it. He can just one ray of his energy into somebody's body and see the whole action, signs, what happens in and out, and able to explain the whole thing to Ubay Bharati. Understand? It means being a celibate by birth, but not out of any incompletions towards sex. He is simply able to look in. It means he doesn't have incompletion. He has not become celibate because of any incompletions. He has not become celibate because of any incompletions. That is the beauty of the Brahmacharya in Vedic tradition. Brahmacharya in Vedic tradition. If he has become a brahmachari, celibate, due to some incompletions with the sex, he cannot just straight look into that science and answer Ubay Bharati's questions. The moment Ubay Bharati saw Shankara, the motherliness in her was awakened. Like the Meenakshi, representative of Meenakshi, the Pandya queen, Mangayarkarasi, when she saw Jnanasambandar, immediately she felt the motherliness. Mangayarkarasi was basically from Chola kingdom. She was married to Pandya king. Ubay Bharati, even though she felt that motherliness, she somehow wanted to win Shankara for the sake of her husband. But the moment she put the question, simply Shankara was able to look into through Kashiraja's body. He sent one ray of himself into Kashiraja's body. Understand? The pure consciousness. When you don't have incompletion and want to look into, you can just look into any one person's brain or look through any body. Usually that is what I do. If I wanted to have knowledge about any subject, I'll pick up that book, just concentrate on the knowledge of that author, the thought trend of that author, download it, observe, and throw the rest.
Bhagavan beautifully said how he scans the book. Just one ray of him and he can scan anything. The ultimate science is available for all of us. You can see how the beautiful space where Bhagavan heals the devotees, and it has been measurable that how the body was reacting and the heart rate and everything they measured. It was so perfect how the whole manifestation happened. How when Swamiji blesses and just heals that person totally. Now we are going to scan our friends, family, anybody in the family also. Even if you know there's a problem, that doesn't matter. You can completely scan how they are and why they are experiencing all this. Now science has gone up to an extent that they can tell you even when you will die doing a blood test. To that extent, and they say how you can elongate and live as 16 years as reality. In science, they are now able to bring in that level of perfection. Now they are trying to catch up with what Bhagavan has beautifully given, that Sadashiva, Paramashiva is always sweet 16 and always the ultimate space of love, which keeps him always alive. And here you can scan for all the people root pattern and how they have started to build tiredness, boredom, and all kinds of disease, and finally the death. This whole cycle is repeated so many times where we get redundant and irrelevant that it is too much for us to handle. Then we wake up to the higher science, how to exist as consciousness. Beautifully, just by scanning them, you are also scanning your own body. Whenever you're doing scanning, it's not their body, it is also your healing. Your own patterns are getting healed and your own paths are getting healed. It's not just scanning. But when you scan, please let them know to go to a doctor and find a clarity in whatever you're scanning and not just take your inputs, so that there is absolutely clarity in what they need to do. So tell them you're going to scan them and write down whatever Paramashiva shows. And clearly you will be so shocked how beautifully he gives every detail, much more than what they know as their problem. They would have been thinking that cholesterol is the problem or BP is a problem, all that we know. But why is that? What in their life has created that problem, which you can scan and see how they have experienced. Let's get into the meditation. Let's sit straight with the head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Few minutes of just entanglement, deep breathing, and oneness with Paramashiva. So much of auspiciousness and abundance can happen. Even science is supporting all this that Bhagavan is giving us. Hold your inner space. Only Paramashiva, Parashakti, with her 25 heads and 75 eyes and 50 hands, how alive she is. The more you are silent, what happens to our inner space? It becomes alert. Higher intelligence is nothing but complete intelligence as reality. High alert, high awareness, high thinking. Thinking not the way we are telling, but just mapping the cosmic intelligence into our intelligence, using only buddhi, not the mind. The buddhi is the intelligence, not intellect. So understanding this, that whatever we are seeing is only delusion. It's painted on a big poster and that is not you. You are responsible because it's happening in your vision, perception, but it is not you. Whatever you're going through, no need to change you, no need to do anything. Just be a witness and observer to what is happening without getting disturbed, and unclutch from every thought which comes and disturbs us. Every thought that is happening, just unclutch, surrender to Bhagavan's lotus feet and tell very clearly, as I go to sleep, I'm going to Paramashiva's space. Don't disturb me. Put away your gadgets. One of the other phases, Bhagavan says, you have to leave it, let go it for a few, and entangle with Bhagavan, chanting the Mahavakya intensely. That is the most important part. Chanting raises your frequency to. Chanting is so powerful to manifest any reality. That is the science Hanuman knew, and he was able to just manifest all the powers of Paramashiva or Rama. Ramanama is more powerful than Rama. He proved the science. The chanting is so powerful when you are focused to that one space and continuously chant the Mahavakya. You get absorbed into the chanting and the manifestation happens as a result, as a side effect. So let's start chanting the Mahavakya. Write down whatever Paramashiva says and unclutch from any disturbing thought and surrender to Bhagavan's lotus feet. Let's start chanting for the power of body scanning.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour Let the one open up, manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eye. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyanam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham. 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 Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes.
So beautiful. Please open your eyes. Whatever Paramashiva has shown, please verify that with the partner or whoever you're scanning with all the details that you have written down. You can take a photo of that, you can share it with them and ask them what is that they experienced, the history of the problem that they are experiencing. So whatever Paramashiva shows, and it is not just a scanning but also healing, so much of healing and abundance starts flowing in you as auspiciousness. The eternal nectar, Amrita, starts oozing us inside us when we go on healing others. Healing is the best practice that we can experience Paramashiva immediately. And beautifully, Bhagavan has shown us that ultimate space, Paramashiva, and looking at everybody as Paramashiva. That is the most beautiful thing, that you are reminded again and again your past and your root pattern is going to be Paramashiva, replacing your root pattern as Paramashiva by scanning others' body and healing others' body. We'll have one more cycle. Hold this powerful cognition. I'm going to scan everybody and they are Paramashiva and bring them to the Paramashiva context so that they are in the oneness with Paramashiva. So we'll start sitting straight with the head, neck and spine in a straight line. Again and again, bring your awareness to your third eye. If you have the Jnananjan, you can apply in your third eye and in the Kantamala in your third eye and your temples. Again and again, bring your awareness to your third eye and visualize, verbalize only Paramashiva. Paramashiva, the ultimate space for each one of us. Again and again, surrender everything to Bhagavan's lotus feet. If he cannot take care, who can take care? He runs the whole cosmos without any thoughts and mind. He can run your life also so beautiful. So please go ahead and unclutch from everything other than Paramashiva. Everything is a dream. And let me only experience Paramashiva and continuously chant the Mahavakya to experience the oneness with Paramashiva. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya for a second cycle for a few minutes, scanning a person for their history of the problem. So you can do that, or general scanning that you want to do, go ahead with that. But chant the Mahavakya, just fall in love, oneness, merge into the sound of Mahavakya, merging into the Paramashiva's beautiful space and experiencing the oneness with Paramashiva. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham,
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes.
Paramashivoham,
Let the Amrita pour,
Paramashivoham,
let the Varni open up,
Paramashivoham,
manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham,
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyanam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham,
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour. Let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour. Let the Vani open up. Manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham. 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 Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Whatever prasada you have received from Bhagwan, please share it in tinyurl.com/powermanifestation. Again and again, Bhagwan asks each one of us to manifest and share so that the whole humanity, that is a reflection of us, everybody is Paramashiva. The more you start believing, the more you cognize, and by more you share. Because only when you share, you start writing down that I am Paramashiva, I manifested these powers, these powerful cognitions. So surrender to Bhagwan's lotus feet all these greatest powers and powerful cognition, and thank each one of you to manifest the powers today here in this Kailash courtyard. Bhagwan's presence again and again brings so much auspiciousness and abundance in all of us, and so much of healing. Thanking Bhagwan in deep gratitude and earning space for Paramashiva to become the existential reality. With that, let's end the session with the Purna Mantra. Don't forget to share in tinyurl.com/powermanifestation and tag it to your friends and family. Let's end with a deep gratitude to Bhagwan, Bhagwan's lotus feet, and end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Paduka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you so much. See you after the next darshan, or you can log in to the eKailash